Hello. So it's been a little bit since I've updated. I actually posted a video a few weeks ago and it got deleted. So yes, there will be some overlap between this video and that video. But also some new stuff has happened. So we'll just go back to initial updates. And also I think I'm going to try to put, so I think a lot of like friends and family are watching this, and that's kind of like mostly the purpose of these videos, but I know there's some people probably watching that are interested more in like PCT gear information kind of stuff. So I'll put the personal life update kind of stuff at the beginning, and I'll try to put the other like gear and like sort of like interesting anecdotes, or maybe they're not that interesting, I don't know, but at the end. So yeah, we, since last video, got our PCT permit. It's very exciting. We got our preferred date range, which we knew going into it that it was on the early side. We wanted to start in March, and part of the reason for that was just because we didn't want to feel rushed. I am not the world's fastest hiker, and starting in March gave us plenty of time to sort of have as long as possible with the weather windows to complete the trail. It worked out with our jobs, etc. So picking such an early date, we realized that there was a risk, or a higher risk, of running into, snow, ice, especially in the Sierras, having to skip sections and come back to them or whatnot, get off trail for a while, that sort of thing. So we knew that was a risk going into it, and fast forward to now, the risk is no longer a correct description. I think it's just sort of a fact, because the California is experiencing record high snow year. Yay. Similar to 2017 levels, although maybe even higher in some spots. It remains to be seen, there's still some time, not a lot of time, but some time. So for example, last year it snowed a lot. I guess it was a really heavy snow year up until like January. And then it basically just stopped snowing and didn't really snow any measurable amount for the rest of the season. So it ended up not being a heavy snow year because it was all just kind of concentrated at the beginning. That being said, at this point, we are at the beginning of March and it is still snowing and there's a lot of snow out there. So seems inevitable that we're going to be affected by this. We are currently sort of rethinking some of our gear choices for that reason, just because as I think all, or at least most people do, people are trying to sort of minimize what they carry and only carry the essentials. Of course, you want to be safe. You don't want to be foolish and not bringing gear that you potentially need for safety, etc. But, just trying to not bring things that just sort of like extra or excessive things, trying to, be thoughtful about the choices of like items that you're bringing. So anyway, we are definitely, I think, gonna like add some items because of the snow situation, which before we go, I will post some sort of a gear video, and I'll probably mention in that which items we were not planning on bringing and now are planning on bringing. But yeah, so we're sort of in the process of like, we're trying not to do too much contingency planning, just because a lot of it, like, you don't really know until you get there. A lot of stuff we already have set in terms of like, this is when we're packing, this is when we're doing this. And so we're not going to like uproot all of that because of this, but we just know that, certainly our hike is going to be affected by this, and, to what extent or in what ways, we're sort of like thinking of some planning, but also trying not to micromanage it too much, because even with the information we have now, it's not enough to make a totally informed decision. So anyway, that's where we are with that. Other updates, we finished up our jobs the end of January, and so it's been really nice to have some time off. We were very fortunate to be able to go to New Zealand for a couple weeks, which was amazing. We did the camper van thing, and yes, definitely like 10 out of 10 would recommend if you have the chance to do that. It was so beautiful. We got to do so many cool just like outdoor activities, and it was like by far the least crowded vacation I've been on in my entire life. It was wild. Yeah, I like thought I would have a great time, and it definitely exceeded expectations for me. So if you ever have the chance to go, definitely recommend. In a perfect world, I would make a video about our New Zealand trip, or not really about it, but you know, with some clips from it and stuff before we leave for the PCT. That being said, we have a lot of stuff to do, and it seems like every time I get something done, I find something else that I need to do. So I don't really see that happening before the PCT. I don't even know if I see it happening at all, but yeah, unlikely. So anyways, but if you have any questions about New Zealand, happy to advise. It was a wonderful time. Okay. Transitioning into anecdotes / some gear related stuff. So back in the fall, we went on just a quick overnight backpacking trip with some of our friends, and I have always had coldish feet. And this particular trip, again, it was just one night. It wasn't even that cold. It was probably like low 30s, maybe mid 30s. I don't know. I felt like I didn't even sleep because my feet were so cold. I'm sure I did sleep some, but it was like waking with the feeling of having not slept. And I was like, this is not gonna work. And I've tried a lot of stuff. I've tried socks, multiple socks, different types of socks, foot warmers, down booties, like you name it. I just, it's like, we got to come up with a plan. So we decided to try, currently we have 2 mummy bags, or prior to this we had 2 mummy bags. We decided to try a down quilt. I'd heard a lot of good things about these. I know a lot of people use them, and the reason I thought it might be helpful for us is because Henry tends to sleep a little bit warm, and I thought that maybe I could steal some of his feet heat. What was weird too is when my feet were so cold, it's like the rest of my body can be like so warm. When this was happening, I was literally sweating the rest of my body, but my feet were just like little ice cubes. So anyway, thinking that maybe, because basically it's like this big quilt and then it has like a joint toe box at the bottom, and it goes over you, so you lay on your pad and then it goes over you, and then some benefits are, I mean, obviously like the shared heat thing, but then also you can like move around more because it's not like bummy style, and it also, you're not laying on the down, so when you lay on like the bottom of your sleeping bag, it compresses that down and doesn't really provide you much insulation, and so it prevents you from carrying around some extra down that isn't really providing you all that much warmth. And so yeah, anyway, all of that to say, decided to try that out. We tried it out in our friend's backyard, and yeah, it seemed pretty good, and so we're gonna try that out. We initially tried like the 2 pads with the little things connecting them, the straps, and the straps would just stretch out, and a like stream of air would come in between our pads, so we ended up getting a double pad. That was actually very difficult to do. There are not a lot of lightweight double pads on the market. In fact, I really only found one that was like a viable weight option. Most of them are like 10 plus pounds, which is just like not happening. So yeah, if you're looking for a business opportunity, potentially breaking into the double pad market could be good for you. Additionally, and we actually, so I ended up getting the Xped Duo, I think 3R Duo, something like that. Like I said, pretty much my only option, but thankfully it was okay. And I was sort of interested in getting like a silk liner for it, just to kind of like keep things a little bit more clean, not having to like lay directly on your like scrunchy pad. And they just like don't exist that weigh less than, I don't know, several pounds, I guess. So anyway, I thought about is a strong term. I hypothetically considered sewing one, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I have a sewing machine. I know how to sew, but sewing silk just sounds, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, you could totally break into the double sleeping pad liner market. Full disclaimer, I assume that these are not in the market because there's not a big demand for them. So if you launch this and it fails, just know that I warned you. There might not be a big market. But you know, do your research, talk to the sharks, see what they think. All right, that was the first anecdote. Oh, also full disclaimer, I actually am now bringing down booties, even though, because I've tried them in the past, but all the times I've tried them, it hasn't been like the optimal situation. So I kind of want to give him another shot, and honestly, I'm just like worried about getting frostbite. So I'm just like gonna do everything and see how it goes. Okay. Other anecdote is that we had to buy this sleeping bag stock because you can special or like custom order them, but you need like 16-week lead time or something that we didn't have. So we bought this stock sleeping bag. It is not my favorite color. It is, let me show it to you. Oh, I can't remember if I already said what it is. It's the Enlightened Equipment Accomplice. And their stock color is red. Again, not my favorite, but it'll work. And the stock one comes with just like the collars and a little cinchy thing. It doesn't come with the mummy bag head. And I additionally have some jaw problems, and my jaw really gets into a lot of pain if it's really cold, particularly wind. Even if it's not that cold, but it's windy, the wind is like the worst for it. So Henry was like, we need to find a solution. And so he found this little baby. This is a Torrid hood by Enlightened Equipment. I will put it on for you. I feel like you need to really see this to get the full effect. Kind of looks like a space helmet or something, but it's really nice because it's down and you can, these are like little snaps. You snap it here, and then there's this little thing here that you adjust it in the back so you can like pull it tighter around your head or whatnot. And it's nice because it covers my ears, my jaw, my head, so I can sleep with it and then have the sleeping bag around here. But then also, I'm hoping this will be 2 to 3 dual to tri-purpose, is that, I don't know if that's what you say, but because I'm bringing a jacket without a hood in order to not double up on things. I am not bringing a hat, which might be a mistake. I don't know, but this is basically just gonna be my hat. I don't know, TBD. I feel like if there's something that I really need, I'm gonna take this off, this is ridiculous. If there's something that I really, really need, I feel like I'm sure that I can get it on trail if needed. So hat, not having a hood on my jacket, and jaw cover. So I guess I'll have to decide. I maybe should still bring a buff, but I don't know. I'm really trying to lean into the like not duplicating and making sure everything has like 2 to 8 purposes. So I'll let you know what happens. But yeah, excited about that. All right, this has been a long video. I apologize. But honestly, if you're still watching this, I assume that you wanted to. So hopefully you had a good time. We will update again soonish, sometime before we go, which is soonish. And hope you guys are doing well.